Yes, sir. Gather round and I run it down.
Oh, man.
Peace and love to everybody who deserve it. Let's see here. It's a lot to unpack. So much to discuss. We've had a very eventful past few days. And I understand that from the press conference on Friday with myself, Killer Mike, and Mayor Keisha, Lance Bottoms, that there was some adverse reception. And I understand and I respect that. Now, there's two things I want y'all to know. One, I got thick skin, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really moved or swayed by people who disagree with me or people who have adverse opinion to my approach. So what I did understand or recognize is that it was an opportunity to learn from the people who disagreed with my approach, and also for them to learn from the intent of my words. So what I did was I made it a point to reach out to the people who I heard that was speaking with the most logic and the most sensibility on the matters at hand. One of those is Brother Marcus Coleman here.
Yes, I'm sure your fan base was up to it.
Yeah, man. And so listen, so Brother Marcus was extremely critical of the press conference, and I did not use that as an opportunity for us to remain divided in our approaches and beliefs. I reached out to Brother Marcus.
Straight up.
And I set up a time for us to sit down, for him to understand where I was coming from, for me to understand where he was coming from. He has been an organizer that's been boots on the ground and that has been active for years in this city and abroad.
Appreciate that too.
And he was one of the, organizers or the people who kind of who put that rally or that protest together.
Yes, sir.
And he felt that it wasn't enough light being shed on the fact that it was a peaceful protest.
Of 20 grand.
Of 20,000 people who were brought together. And he didn't feel like there was enough attention being given to that fact. And I understood that. And maybe I could have been a little more, how can I say, a little less critical.
If you would have known.
If I would have known. You dig what I'm saying? And I let him know about the actual fact that I did not know of, or I didn't get the call until shit had got out of hand.
Yeah, but you're a real one.
I got the call when shit got out of hand. So when shit got out of hand, his peaceful protest had already been undermined by agitators. People outside of the movement who took what him and other young people who had put together a movement and a protest with a righteous cause, and they used that to have their own selfish agendas be put before. And what we did, we sat down, we talked about it, bro.
That's what we did.
We sat down, we talked about it, and I let him know we cannot afford to be divided. We on the same side. We have the same enemy. Even if we have a different approach to where we're going.
That's right.
People are being paid. People are being paid to come out and basically justify civil unrest, to justify martial law. Correct. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about martial law. If the present administration
Come on now.
has justification to activate martial law The election is off.
Done deal.
You cannot pull a president from his sitting position if the nation is in martial law.
Yes, sir.
I wish everybody tell Dina to stop calling me, please. Anyway, so look, right? So that's hey, listen, man, that's the intention, right? That's why you see bricks on the streets.
Come on.
That's why you see people putting bricks on the streets on every corner. That's why you see people who don't look like us, who don't have our same intention in mind, out there breaking windows, causing fights, burning buildings. Although I will say one of the most beautiful, prolific things of poetic justice I have seen is that police station burn in Minneapolis. However, I'm not telling y'all.
Yes,
I'm not telling y'all to go burn up shit.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know.
Yes.
That shit moved me.
Yes.
But it just seemed like, you know what I'm saying, vindication. It seemed like vindication for so many people, and we hadn't gotten answers for so long.
Spirit too,
you dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we agree on matters like this, you know what I'm saying? And we also understand that, you know, there's people who are using this for their own personal gain, taking advantage of the movement, hijacking the movement that these guys have put together and have been putting together for so long. And so I took that and I said, okay, cool. Put me with the people I need to sit with, and let's let them know. Let's find out how I can be of service to them.
That's right. That's why you were.
And so then let me tell you what we did. Yeah, come on, man. Well, let's walk. So then, you know what I'm saying, we took advantage of the opportunity to gather. And where did we gather? We gathered at the spot in Atlanta. We gathered at the spot in Atlanta that people gather. Now, if you know where people gather in Atlanta, then you know what spot I'm talking about. And if you don't, get out there a little more. I am so proud of the young people, the next generation, man. This generation, I should say. Who? There we are. We back.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Now, what I'm saying was, I am so proud of the young people, the young organizers, the young demonstrators who have taken it upon themselves, right? Who've taken it upon themselves to mobilize an entire generation in this city of Atlanta. And I wanted them to know that I support them and the people who support me support them. So I got them in a room, right? I got them in a room. And, you know, they did not hold back in letting me know, you know what I'm saying, exactly how they feel like, you know, we may have been misconstrued in our messaging. And then I let them know, you know what I'm saying, why our messaging was the way that it was. But I want you to meet these people, these ladies and gentlemen who were responsible for the peaceful protests. You know what I'm saying? And the righteous rally that was had on Friday, Saturday also. And it was not their intention or motivation to riot, loot, or do any of the egregious things that the news have been reporting. So I want to give them an opportunity to utilize my platform and speak to you guys from their heart and tell you where they coming from.
You want to talk about HBCUs?
Yeah, so again, I'm Jawan. So I was a part of the protest that was on Saturday, hashtag HBCUs for Black Lives. It was a peaceful protest of AUC students and HBCU students. We came together because of the assault of our Spellhouse family members. Two of our Spellhouse siblings were assaulted and dragged out of their cars by police officers. So that was...
And how did that end?
So that ended with the police officers actually being fired and they're actually in court being prosecuted. So our voices were essentially heard in that moment.
And where is the only place in America that we could get that kind of action? Immediately.
I saw that happen in Atlanta. I did. Saw it happen in Atlanta.
Okay. Have you seen it happen anywhere else?
I've seen it happen in Atlanta.
And anywhere else, though? Can you compare it to anywhere else?
I've been in D.C. D.C. moved pretty fast, but Atlanta moved fast. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I wanted to pass it along.
So I was a part of the protest on Friday that was a peaceful protest at Centennial Park. We had over 20,000 people there. Young organizers came together, my organization, along with these new young active protesters that we just joined forces on that day. And we had a peaceful protest, a very powerful show of strength and solidarity that did turn into outrage and rioting. Not saying that we agreed with it or condoned it, but we did understand the anger and frustration that took place that evening. So as we move forward, we think it's very critical to have people who have influence like T.I. come on and allow us to use his platform and actually engage with us to have a solution-based conversation so that we can move forward in the right direction. And so as we move forward, we're joining forces with Atlanta's elite to make sure that we are allowed to have our voices heard through them. And as we grow together, none of us have all the solutions, but we are open to sitting down and having a conversation with one another so that we can grow in this space and figure out the solutions and the processes that need to take place, because so many people are hurt and so many people are angry and ready to move forward with how we can organize and come up with a solution. So
same here. We just wanted to emphasize that and thank T.I. for giving us the platform to emphasize that we did hold a peaceful march in Atlanta Friday. And thank you to Marcus and other activists in the community who helped facilitate the march. And that's just something that the media hasn't been emphasizing, how we all were we're together that day. And Atlanta did exhibit unity that day. So I just wanted to thank T.I. and Marcus.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yeah.
And my name is Mary Pat Hector. I am asking, as I'm sure all of the other activists here would, if you are organizing in your respective cities and you are a young person, I want you all to continue to work together. I want you to know that people are going to try to work and organize to tear you all apart and divide you. This movement is more than just you. It's more than just us. And I'm asking you all to come together and come up with a list of demands. Right now, we have people's attention and they're listening to us. And the only way to keep their attention is if we give them a list of demands. If we say what we want as regards to the police in our communities and how they police our communities, and hold our elected officials accountable, then we can truly make a difference right now. But we need each other. We need to continue to work together, and we need to work together to come up with a list of demands.
Collectively. Charles? So, I will also say, everyone's saying, well, I know Brother Marcus said, you can't say us or else, and then when the or else happens, see, the thing is, as I told Marcus,
Yes, sir.
our or else may be a tad different.
That don't even
know what I'm saying? And we all have a different approach, but we support each other because we have the same enemy, we have the same purpose, and we have the same objective, and that is to liberate our people and to keep us from being shot dead in the streets.
One thing, Tip, there's an old saying, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. Common denominator. We are living in special times, have never been seen before. I just want to publicly thank, I know earlier you had me on, but I just want to publicly thank Tip, because this is what reconciliation looks like. This is what building on common denominators looks like. And this is the most fearless fucking generation that we ever had. So shame on us as bridges in between older generations and new generations if we don't do the best we can.
That's real.
And shame on us if we don't come out of this with the uprisings that are in place, that neither of us here are condoning, but we understand it. If we don't come out with policy change and legislation change. Power to the people.
Love and respect, brother. And with that being said, man, continue to find ways to make a difference. These young people back here are vigilant. They are tenacious, and they are thirsty and hungry for change. You dig what I'm saying? And they have my support. And anyone who supports me, support them. You dig what I'm saying? Word. And with that being said, love and respect, peace to all who deserve it. We out.